Welcome to becoming the happiest and healthiest you. I am so excited to share with you guys some tips and tricks that have helped me since have been on a personal growth journey pretty much since 2016. In 2016, I signed up as a partner with Body to, at the time, I just wanted to learn about food and how to better fuel myself for my goals of running. And what I didn't anticipate was starting this personal growth journey that, I'm just really proud to be on and constantly working to be a better version of myself. And that's taken lots of twists and turns in the last, almost 8 years? Is that really almost 8 years? But yes, so I wanted to share with you guys so that you guys can implement these things and start your personal growth journeys so that you can watch your life transform, hopefully. Okay, so the number one tip, and this is going to be nothing new for the people who have been here for a long time with me, is working on your mindset. And this is a really intentional practice. Mindset work is not something that I do when I have the time or when it fits into my life. It is something that I have consistently implemented every single day. And this takes on a lot of different ways. So first of all, for me, it can mean reading a physical book. It can mean reading or reading a physical book. It can mean listening to a podcast. It can mean listening to an audiobook. It can mean I listen to Growth Day, the Growth Day app every single day. So every day, Brendon Burchard has what he calls a daily fire. And that is just something that really sets the tone for my entire day because it lets me be in the driver's seat of how I'm going to feel, how I'm going to react, what are the things that I'm going to do, and how can I make everything is about intention with me. So how can I be intentional going into this day to accomplish the goals that I have? So, and I try to really emphasize that this is like in a perfect world, it would be physically reading a book and implementing those things every single day. But sometimes time is of the essence, which is why there's the place for Audible. So I'll put on an audiobook when I'm driving in my car, when I'm cooking dinner, when I'm sitting down and doing some work that doesn't, that I can sort of, because multitasking isn't entirely, that's not what you can do. Multitasking is fake. So if I'm really doing something that I can multitask and listen to something else, but the trick about mindset work and doing these things is that you have to implement the strategies. You can't just listen. You can listen all you want, and it might provide you some inspiration and some fire, but what you really have to do is do the things that are suggested. Do the things, do the work. And doing the work is where you're going to see that change happen in your life. So that could mean, journaling through some hard shit. It might mean, doing gratitude. So part of my mindset journey is also my miracle morning, which encompasses writing my daily affirmations, setting my goals. I always write my goals, my 5-year goals, my 1-year goal, and my monthly goal. I write affirmations that are specific to my goals and the things that I struggle with that have been helped. My business coach helped me write them, and another business coach helped me write a few more of them. And I write them every single day. It's paying attention to what we're letting in our brains. So for me, this means not watching the news. I do not watch the news. I have no interest in the news. Whenever I see like local news on, it's always like terrible and sad and it's not good. It's not good for my mental health. So I stay informed. I try to, if it applies to me, but otherwise I shut it off because it's nothing that is going to be good for me. And I'll get the news that I need to get, usually from my husband. So I really pay attention to the things like that. When you wake up, what are you doing? Are you checking your emails? Are you responding to things on social media? Like when you wake up with intention and your intention is to be focused on your mindset, that should be your time to journal, your time to set your goals for the day, your time to open your personal development book or listen to your, podcast or listen to your Audible, whatever it is. It's really having that intention of this is how I'm going to start my day. So my day starts the same every single day. I listen to my daily dose of astrology. I do my Wordle and I listen to Growth Day. And then I start with my morning, my morning, oh my God, my miracle morning. I've only been doing it for 9 years. And that's really what I do. So, and how doing these things will set you up because you're going to start to see connections of the things that you're doing and how you're feeling. You can't change your first thought, but you can change your second thought. And that is really something that I've learned through all of this. Even if I have those negative thoughts pop into my head, doing mindset works helps me to combat those things. Mindset work is also watching about how you talk about yourself and how you talk to others. Are you talking shit about other people? Because when you're focused on your own growth, you're going to be way less interested in what Sally down the street is doing. And you're going to be more focused on your own goals. So surround yourself with people who are also focused on their own goals. I think I talked to my podcast about this today. When you are surrounded with people who are on a personal growth journey, the conversations are different. They're 100% different. It is about goals and how to accomplish those goals and how you're dealing with triggering thoughts and how you're dealing with what's going on in the world and how you can overcome them. And when you're in circles of people who aren't focused on personal growth, I find there's a lot more venting. There's a lot more negative talk about other people. And those are not situations that I want to be in. So be really intentional about who you're surrounding yourself with and if those people are aligned with your mission and your goals. So, and then, part of having that focus on mindset work is looking for the positives, especially having a gratitude practice every single day. You're going to start looking for the things in your life that are good. And, Brendon Burchard in the Growth Day app, I think it was today or yesterday, talked about how you cannot ask the universe for more money, better relationships, a better job, whatever it is that you may wish for, if you can't recognize what's good in your life now. Because recognizing what's good in your life now is going to make all the difference for what you can manifest for yourself at a later time. So having, as I said, that commitment to personal growth every single day, always have something you're reading, always have something that you're listening to, and always schedule time for you to be able to implement those things. Some that I have loved is I love Hal Elrod, Miracle Equation, The Miracle Morning, Everything is Figure Outable, Mastering Your Mean Girl, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Honestly, I hate to even give suggestions because it really is so personal. If you need specific recommendations, I'm always happy to answer for you. And I do have certain ones that I like for certain things that you may be experiencing in your life. But if you're struggling with like depression, then, let me think of one. If you're struggling with like depression, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth may not be suitable for you at that time. You may need something more, geared toward depression. So, and also if you're in a certain phase in your life and you're listening to something that's not speaking to you, it may not be not for you forever. It may not just be good for you right now. It may be something that you might need to revisit down the line when you've overcome whatever you're currently overcoming. Number two, so number one is mindset. Number two is intentionality. And you're going to see this with me 100 times. And again, I talked about this on my podcast today. You have to go into your day with intention. Like one of the things I hate to hear the most is I'll try, because if you're going to do something or you're not going to do something. I hate when I ask someone like, oh, hey, do you want to go, have dinner tomorrow? And then they say, like, this wouldn't even happen because you would fucking know if you're going to show up at dinner or not. if someone says, I'll try, like, are you going to show up at dinner or are you not going to show up at dinner? Are you going to come to your workout or you're not going to come to your workout? You set the intention, and you need to set yourself up for success if you intend to follow through whatever commitment you're making to yourself. So you have to go into your day, your week, your month. What are your intentions? And I talked about something silly in my podcast, but I'll share it here today too. Is I, read an article. I always, I like to be, I feel like when you know better, you do better. And I read an article a couple weeks ago about how pumpkins don't, what is the right word again? You can't throw them away because the environment will not accept them. And so I was like, I'm going to use every bit of this pumpkin because that's what I need to do for the earth. And this morning, I very shamefully bagged all of my rotting pumpkins on the porch. And my point of explaining this is that I had the best of intentions, but I didn't plan or implement any follow through to actually achieve that goal. My goal was to use every bit of the pumpkin, and I still have freaking pumpkin like probably rotting in my fridge right now that I've refrigerated. But the point is that if your intention is to use all the pumpkin, then how are you going to get from point A to point Z? How are you going to follow through with the utilization of the pumpkin? For me, that would have meant setting aside some time to take the pumpkins apart and cook them and do whatever the hell I was going to do with them. What are your goals? Are your goals to be more consistent with your workouts? How are you going to get from point A to point Z? What time are you going to work out? What kind of workout are you going to do? Who are you going to use as your accountability buddies? How are you going to make sure? Are you scheduling it in a time that you know that you can get it done? Are you going to spend your time doing actions that are going to lead you to your goals? Because if you don't have that intention, if you don't follow through, you're going to have rotting pumpkins on the front porch like I did. And you might feel bad that you didn't follow through on your goal. So be real with yourself. How are you spending your time? What are you doing? If you have an intention to start a business, get a license, fulfill some requirement, are you doing the things that are going to get you to that point? And this might mean doing a time audit, doing a social media audit. Where is your time going? And like, be really specific. Like I did. So today I had, 3 things to do. I had to walk the dogs. I had to record my podcast, and I wanted to do my second workout, and I had a shower. So I literally broke it into time. I did time blocking, which is really helpful to me. So I said, okay, because what can happen, especially for me, is like, I'm like, oh, I have an hour and a half, like easy peasy. I can do all of those things. But when you really break it down, so I needed 20 minutes for the dog walk. I needed a half an hour for the podcast. I needed a half an hour for the workout. So that right there, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, that was practically to the therapy session time that I had to be there for. So can you really get what you need to get done in the time that you're allotting? Can you wake up a little bit earlier? I'm hosting one of my favorite groups ever right now. It's a morning makeover, and it's really just trying to help people implement personal growth every single day, and also have a morning routine that they can be proud of. So that can look so differently for everyone. Some people's goals are to wake up 5 minutes earlier. Some people's goals are to wake up an hour earlier. Some people want to, have that time in the morning so that they can work on growing their business, so that they can work on journaling and setting their intentions for the day. Like, everyone has a different goal, and it's a matter of how you're going to achieve that goal. So really get crystal clear on what you can do to make your day as intentional as you can. And really, like, that's the buzzword, like, go into your day with intention. And I talk about this a lot with my morning routine. A good morning routine, and Rachel knows this, a good morning routine starts with an intentional nighttime routine. So if I am, out at the bar till 11 p.m. and I don't get my good 7 hours of sleep, My focus is going to be down the next day. My frustration level is going to be high because my focus is going to be down. I'm going to be annoyed and probably grumpy that I didn't get enough sleep. And it's just not going to be a good situation for me. So I know I have to adjust my goals for the next day depending on how that night went. But if I have everything lined up for my intention, so last night I took my last thing, which is my nighttime supplement. I took that at like 9 p.m., took my little CBD gummy, and got into bed. So I knew I'm setting myself up to be asleep by 10 so that when my alarm goes off at 5, I've had 7 hours of sleep and I am going to be at my optimum for the day. And I know that about myself. So I need to set myself up for success that night before. And what do you need to do? What are your goals for the day? What's your routine like? What can you eliminate that isn't serving you? So I know a big flip for me, and I know a big flip for a lot of people that I've worked with is, so especially as like parents and moms, we tend to get into this routine, and I was in it for fucking years, like literally years. I would, go through like, taking care of the kids all day and getting them to all the activities and getting them to all the sports and doctor's appointments and all of that while working full time, coming home, cooking dinner, getting them bathed, read books, in bed. And then I was like, fuck all of you. Like, I am going to be on my couch playing Farmville, playing Candy Crush, watching TV, drinking wine, eating ice cream. And you will not tell me not to do this. And I will do this until midnight. And then I will wake up when my alarm goes off, when the kids are shouting at me, when they need breakfast. And that was how my days went. And if you told me then to give up my nighttime routine of that, I would have told you to fuck yourself, because that was my time to be with myself. That was my time. But guess what? Was staying up, playing Candy Crush, going from TV show to TV show to TV show, while paying for Farmville crops, while eating ice cream and drinking wine, was that serving me? Was that actually helping me to take care of me? No. So what happened was, when I started this journey and I started, needing to get up in the morning to have my workout done, I was like, okay, I can. And it didn't start with 5 a.m. It started with like 6:15 a.m. Let me wake up a half an hour earlier to start my day earlier. And I realized that, first of all, I could still have me time where no one needed me. Only it was happening in the morning. So I wasn't shoving my face full of ice cream. I wasn't drinking a bottle of wine. I wasn't watching endless shows that really did nothing for my mindset. I wasn't, paying money for Farmville crops. I was waking up to do my journaling, to do my gratitude, to do my workout, to surround myself with people who had similar goals. And that felt so much more aligned. So I just want you to sit and say to yourself, like, what can I do? What are some tweaks that I can do? There's no such thing as a morning person or a night person. It is the habits that you have. So I went from being a night person where I couldn't possibly give up my midnight, madness, to being a morning person. I became that person because I wanted to live my life in a more intentional, more a way that made me proud. It always comes down to like, are my actions making me proud? Am I proud of who I'm showing up as right now? Am I proud of who I am? And that means a whole lot to me. So, I just always want to make sure that that lines up. And I also want to make sure that what I do are things that I would be happy with my kids seeing. And that's always a huge gut check for me. Like, am I living in a way that I would want them to live? Am I living in a way that makes me a hypocrite of the things that I tell them? And, that means that I might have to adjust some things that I'm doing, but I don't want to get too off topic because I could talk about this forever. As I said, eliminate the things from your life that aren't serving you. Farmville wasn't serving me. Candy Crush wasn't serving me. Late nights with ice cream and wine weren't serving me. I think that sometimes when we get stuck on like, that's my me time, what are ways that you can have your time in a way that's healthier for you? Oh, and one thing I always also like to share too is like, when you have financial goals, because I know a lot of people are in it right now. Like things are expensive, holidays are coming, and are you doing things that are aligning to your financial goals? And I know for me, I always talked about for years, like I want, to be debt free, but for years, I would write that in my book and I did nothing to move myself in that direction. So you can have, again, the best of intentions. It all goes back to the rotting pumpkins. You can have the best of intentions, but are you really doing the work? Because we can write, we can manifest, we can want all these things for ourselves. But if you're not willing to put in the work, then you just have to adjust your goals. And I think I brought up, in my podcast today, I was talking about this, about like spending time, organizing your house or cleaning your house. Like these are not things that I make time for. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with the outcome. But if you're not okay with the outcome, then you really have to think of what you can do and where you can make adjustments in your schedule to be the person that you really want to be. Are you a yes person? Are you saying yes to everything that's coming in your life? If the PTO calls and says, hey, I need, cookies for the bake sale, are you saying yes, even though you have zero time in your schedule to do that? Practicing saying no can be so empowering, and learning to say no to the things that are not serving you. Like I don't go to PTO meetings anymore. My time, I feel like I gave my time to that and I'm happy with where I am with my life with that. To me, being a good mom and being, an active participant in my kids' lives means different to me than it did when I felt like PTO had a big pull on me. So I just want to make sure that I'm spending time with my kids, that I'm being present with my kids, that I'm not short-tempered with my kids, that I actually can, if my son says, hey, like, let's play a game of Uno, that I can sit down and play that game of Uno with him. If my daughter wants to go, like my girls dragged me shopping yesterday. And at first I was like, I don't want to go. But then I'm like, you know what? My freaking kids are asking me to go shopping. I hate shopping. I want to like gouge my eyes out, but they want to do this. This is what they're doing. And I'm going to go and hang out with them. So, are the things that you're doing lined up with the way that you want to show up? I ask my kids that like probably 9 times a week. How are you showing up in the world? And are you proud of that? Are you proud? Like my freaking kid got like the worst report from his gym teacher of all teachers. And I'm like, is this really like, is this how you want to show up? Like, is this how you want to show up? Because even when I was like a total asshole as a teenager, I would have been embarrassed to show up like that. So how do you want to show up? And it's not like a shaming way. It's just like, if this is not how you want someone to talk about you, what can you do to alter that? What can you do to make the situation better for yourself, to get the outcome that you want? Because if you're getting criticism of any kind, even if it's constructive or if it's not constructive, you can say, like when people say nasty things to me, sometimes I sit and I think, is this real? Is this really something I have to think about? And 9 out of 10, no, it's not, because they don't maybe know who I am or what I'm all about or whatever. So how can you show up, and can you show up in a different way that makes sense for you or aligns with your goals more? But saying no is huge, and setting boundaries around those things that you don't want to, that you want to say no to. It's so empowering. I fucking love saying no. And I really try to live my life like that. Like it's either an F yes or an F no. And if it's an F no, I'm happy to say that, because that aligns with what I want to do with my time. And there's nothing more valuable than your time. So, okay. And then the third thing. So number 1, mindset. Number 2, intentionality. And number 3 is accountability. Accountability is so helpful. And I can't even tell you how much it is. But when I made that decision, so I always go back to that moment in time. I think about Melissa of 2016. Melissa of 2016 signed up to be a beach body. This is what we were called at the time, a beach body coach. And that title just felt enormous to me. It felt like, it first of all felt comical because I knew nothing about anything. And I'm like, how is this even real life, that this is who I am now? But I remember like making a joke with my family, like I'm a coach now. But I will tell you that the minute I clicked, even though I felt so weird and so skeptical and unsure of myself and insecure and like, how the hell is this even real life? Even though I felt those things, clicking that button that day like set everything into existence for me. And it was so powerful because even though I had no intentions on growing a business, I knew I was making a decision at that point in my life, an intentional decision to create a healthy lifestyle for myself for forever. I wanted the discount on the products. I wanted to always have like the shakes so that I had that healthy, easy meal for myself. I wanted that community of support surrounding me. I wanted those happy pictures that I saw my coach posting about her workouts. I wanted those travel opportunities. I wanted extra income. Actually, I didn't at that time. I just wanted health. I wanted health and I wanted to live a life that I could be proud of. I wanted, I was a smoker. Was I a smoker then? No, I wasn't. I was quit smoking at that time. But I was always really like, if I gauged everything and I still do. Like if I had to sit down and tell my kids, like when I smoked, this was a big thing. If I had to sit down and tell my kids, like I have lung cancer because of this choice that I've made for so many years of my life, even though I knew it was harmful, would I be able to do that? Would I be able to look at my kids in the face and say, okay, like this is a consequence of something that I had control over that killed me? So I wanted health. Like that was the goal. Although it did look like I want to be toned and I want, to lose some weight, it was really centered around health and knowing that I was doing whatever I could do to be here for my kids as long as I could be. That meant everything to me. It still does. So I don't even remember where I was going with that, but that decision in 2016 to be healthy, to have wellness, to intentionally live my life in this way elevated everything. And I didn't even know what that meant. And that's why like I feel like sometimes even if we have no idea what the outcome is going to be or how it's going to play out, it's so important to just go with your gut and try things, because this has like snowballed into the biggest momentum of my whole life in terms of my growth, in terms of who I am now. Like I can't even believe that I'm doing this. Like because this was not Melissa of 2016. And you can go back. There's video proof on social media for 7 years of how I used to talk, how I used to show up, how I used to, present. And it's night and day because of these situations that I've continued to put myself in that are uncomfortable and that have created opportunities for me to grow. And I don't know, like, I should move that thing, but yeah. So anyways, accountability and okay. So that's how I'm looping this together. But, when I made that decision in 2016, that was when I started my page. I started my Instagram. I started my fitness adventures page, and I used social media as accountability. And so many people, like, oh, I need to take a break from social media, or social media is so negative. I don't agree with that in the slightest, because people who create content on social media are much happier than people who just consume content. So if you are looking for a happier experience with social media, become a content creator. Use social media as your accountability for whatever the hell you need it to be accountable for, whether it's running, fitness, nutrition, whatever it is. Talk about your goals. If Aunt Sally has a problem with you doing that, or Sarah from high school has a problem with that, they can unfollow you, they can block you, they can remove you as a friend. Pay attention to who you're surrounding yourself with. Again, I mentioned this before. If people don't have the same goals as you, you're not going to get to the same place. Like if you are wanting to build a business, join the people on Zoom in the morning that are building a business, come to team calls, immerse yourself in the accountability of people that are working. If you have fitness goals, are you surrounding yourself with people who have fitness goals? If you are trying to, follow a nutrition program, are you going out to dinner with people who are eating fried pickles and drinking beer all night? And that's me. But in all seriousness, if I on a nutrition program and following one is my goal, I want to be hanging out with the people who are following the same program as me. You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with people who have goals, who are trying to be their best selves, who are not just trying? I mean, guys, there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people who say that they have these goals, that they say these things, but are they really taking action in the right way? Are they really doing these things that are serving them, that are serving their goals, that are, that are getting them to where they need to go, and they're taking that action? I think that's like the distinction sometimes is some people don't take that action. They want to be better. Everybody wants to be better. You just have to build that consistency with whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Be really cautious of how you're spending your time and make sure it's intentional. Don't tell people, don't ever tell me, I'll try. You do it or you don't do it. Shit or get off the pot. Like, how are you spending your time? Who are you spending your time with? When you say that you have a goal that you're working on, you're going to be held accountable to that goal. Grab a friend. Like, that is why I'm so consistent to this day, because I've created this community and this team of people who rely on me. Point blank, I will never give up on myself, because people have invested in me and in my success, and I made a commitment to them, and I will never turn my back on that commitment. I just won't. I feel like I wouldn't want it done to me, and I feel like if I give up on myself, I can't imagine. I feel so strong in the ripple effect of the things that I do that I would be devastated if someone gave up because I gave up, and I would never want that, and I honestly, we can't take on, as a leader, we can't take on anyone's successes, and we can't take on anyone's failures. But I know for me as a leader, it's my duty to step up. It's my duty to be the best that I can, so that everyone else around me can be the best that they can too. I want to be your accountability buddy in the best way possible, because you see me as someone who's doing the things that you want to do. If you never, and that's another thing, like, if you never say anything to anyone, no one's going to know. No one's going to know what you're doing. No one can hold you accountable. If you don't say, I want to run a 5K in 2 months, no one will know if you never do that. So yeah, that's really an easy way out, right? And this is why I'm so passionate about the community that I've been growing for the last 7 years. It's the focus is on mindset. And that's the cornerstone of everything that we do. We challenge each other. We empower each other. It's life-changing. So, if you are listening to this and you were like, I need something like this in my life, I need a community like this, I need to be part of something that is going to challenge me and going to encourage me to be my best, then we have a spot for you, and we have an amazing opportunity for you to join, and for you to jump in to work towards your goals, whatever they may be. And that's sort of like the message that I want to leave you with, is that doing this job of being an accountability partner not only levels up your own accountability, you also just don't know where you're going to end up. And like I said, like in the beginning, when looking at Melissa of 2016 from Melissa of 2023 is a totally different person, because of these opportunities and because of the things that I've committed to doing from this job, and more importantly, from personal growth. So it's the physical, it's the mental, and it's the mindset. And if you follow all of these things, mindset, intentionality, and accountability, the world will be your oyster. And the great thing is that you just never know where you're going to end up. You don't know what you're going to end up doing. I didn't know I was going to end up in this coaching role. I didn't know I was going to end up having my own podcast. I didn't know I was going to end up feeling 100% in control of myself, despite not having any control of anything else or anyone else, because we can't control the world. Life's always going to throw shit at us. But when we know that life is here for us and not happening to us, it changes everything. Everything that hits me, I'm like, how can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? How can I show up in a way that makes me proud despite of this shitty situation? So I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you are interested in joining us in this accountability and in this personal growth community, we have a 21 days to fitness group starting next Monday that I'm super, super excited for. It's going to be so much fun. And I will definitely send you the information. Thank you for being here today. Thank you guys for being here live. I appreciate all of the support and I hope you have a wonderful day.